Thank you.
Before we do that, there's a couple things from council members I'd like to mention. One is wherever we're at and what we're going through is 7:25 we're going to be done, so we're going to be 5 minutes on our meetings going forward, so we can start our 7:30 meeting on time. And I would ask that when you make a motion during our regular meeting, you include what you're making a motion for, so the people that are watching on camera, listening in on the city council meetings, know what we're doing. We talk about it during our work session, but they don't always know that. Public forum. Individuals may address the city council about items on the agenda or not included on the agenda. Speakers are required to state their name and address for the council record and limit the remarks to 3 minutes or less. Speakers are requested to frame their comments around items that fall within the authority of the city council. Generally, the city council will not take official action on the items discussed at this time, but may place the item on file, take the matter under advisement, refer the matter to staff or committee for a future report, or direct the matter to the upcoming agenda. Would anyone like to speak?
Good evening, my name is Jackie Magnuson, and I live here in Little Falls. And I would like to send this map around to you, and it is very important, and it includes what we'll be talking about tonight, the Greenstep City plan. This whole thing about green everything that we hear about when we're listening to the TV and it's being pushed from Washington, D.C. and everything is basically under the UN mandate, the sustainable development. And I'm going to pass this map around because this is a simulation of the plan to protect biodiversity. It shows its reserves and corridors. Little to no human use is the red. The human buffer zones, highly regulated use, and the normal use is the green. And you can take a look at what the UN has planned for the United States, and this is Minnesota and the surrounding states. So that's kind of an introduction into how serious this conversation is. Much more serious than most people know. It's like a red flag, to say the least. It's time to get serious. That's what that map says. It's time to get serious about sustainable development and quit pretending it doesn't exist. Most people out there don't even know what it is. So I'm going to start by introducing something I took off the internet and start with it here. According to proponents, effective execution of Agenda 21, which is sustainable development, which comes under everything, everything green comes under that. The effective execution of Agenda 21 will require a profound reorientation of all human society, unlike anything the world has ever experienced. The most often used phrase to describe sustainable policies is that it's a comprehensive blueprint for the reorganization of human society. And people need to know that. People need to research. I have resources here. They need to study it. They need to look at it because it's going to be a big conversation. The city needs to allow people time to converse among their families, their friends, their churches, their groups, because it's a huge subject. Pardon me?
The three minutes are up.
My 3 minutes are up.
Yep.
Okay, I just would like to say.
Mr. President, we need an address for the record.
Pardon me?
We need your address for the record.
Little Falls.
Your
Little Falls.
mailing street address?
My address is Little Falls, Minnesota. Do you have a street address? Yes. Or a mailing address? It's 1211 7th Street. Northeast.
Thank you.
Okay, I just want to say that I passed these around because there's a ton of information on it. If anybody wants to talk to me about resources, I have them here for the website, all kinds of websites. Thank you. I'm Mona Marshall, 1114 6th Street Northeast, Little Falls, and I am here tonight to talk about the Green Community Criteria. Subtitle is a fanciful and ideological utopia agenda, dictated, promoted, and sponsored by the UN's Agenda 21. I have the manual here. I have 47 pages of it. I read it, and there's a lot of required and mandatory requirements in it here for anyone who wants to implement it, and you see that's going to take it on. One aspect of Agenda 21 is the sustainable development that Jackie started to talk about. It's an action plan to inventory and control all land, water, plants, construction, energy. The plan is that every town, country, state, nation would be changing their land use planning codes and government policies to align themselves with the United Nations plan, and that is Agenda 21. According to UN Secretary General Marie Shawn, the affluent middle-class American lifestyle is unsustainable. That includes single-family homes, private vehicles, appliances, air conditioning, they touch on everything, garage, lighting, heating. The plan is called Sustainable Development, of which the Green Communities criteria is one. President Clinton created the President's Council on Sustainable Development for the sole purpose of getting it into every city, county, and state in the U.S. Federal rules, regulations, and grants. This is a global plan, but it's implemented locally. We see it as a regional plan, that's what they refer to. They call for stack and pack housing, restricted mobility, even domestic surveillance, smart meters. The word sustainable development, green cities, smart growth, it sounds really good. But do your homework, please. This is Agenda 21 ideology. It's being pushed to radically change the framework of our Little Falls, as well as every city and town in Minnesota. Their slogan is Make Minnesota One. Their plan, again, to impose regulations dictated by unelected regional boards and commissions, I'll name a few. Region 5, the Met Council, League of Cities, Thriving Communities, Inclusive Cities, Welcoming Cities. All of these are working directly with the Greenstep program. Anytime you hear these programs mentioned, it should raise a big red flag. Just know that every one of these UN Agenda 21 programs affects every facet of our lives: education, energy, food, housing, transportation, land use, and in general, our entire lifestyles.
So, thank you.
Thank you. My name is Linda Donahue. I live at 716 6th Street, Northeast Little Falls. I have for the past 10 years, actually 12 or more, been following sustainable communities, bike paths, and green this and green that. I have read and heard and seen in black and white. I've listened to the news, different news stations, different news organizations on the web, read newspapers, several, and I've been to the good, legitimate, truthful websites where there's facts, cold hard facts about this stuff, like Mona mentioned, and Jackie. And some people say that, well, it's, you know, we can just do some of it. Well, there's 3 pages of things that are mandatory. There's quite a bit on those 3 pages. All kinds of regulations. And it is all filtered down from the UN and Agenda 21. And our President Trump has taken us out of the Paris Accord talks and Kyoto or Kyoto, either way it's pronounced, which means some of these regulations are probably actually, I've heard illegal, and I believe illegal. So why would we want to follow, like a one world order thing, or this for everybody? I mean, do they know our soil here for the farmers? They want to tell the farmers what crops to grow, what we should grow in our gardens, what adhesive to use on flooring if you want to put a floor or molding or something in your home. There's a lot of rules and mandatory rules and regulations. And I don't see why we want to follow, foreign laws and one for all, because we're all different. We're not the same as Moscow or East Africa or the Mideast or whoever. So I'm asking you to consider before, I'm not sure if you're going to vote tonight, but I would like a postponement, 90 to 120 days, so that we can all think about it, as was said earlier, and read and research more, because this is serious. It is, most everyone here is not going to like these rules and regulations. Some of these people that wrote these rules and regulations don't even have never been on a farm or raised animals, don't know. They were typing, researching from their computer and make a nice chart, but weather patterns can change. So do they know our growing season, and that can change? And the farmers know what to do with that, but they give you so much time, and then that's it. So I don't know why Little Falls would want the headaches involved, and let alone the money, the cost for this. They want new regulations and mandatory implementations, and it has to be done by a green committee. So those people have to be educated. That committee comes in and tells everyone what to do. We already have zoning codes. We have, things in place. Okay, we have rules in place. So why don't we do it all? The cost would be outrageous.
Council President, might I offer a suggestion? I see we have a lot of people here for the public forum tonight. We do have agenda items on the work session agenda that we'd like to address. Can we maybe move the public forum piece into the council meeting so that everybody would have the opportunity that came tonight would have the opportunity to speak, and we could keep on starting the meeting on time? Or do you want to move work session items into the council meeting? Okay.
Mr. President, is everybody planning on speaking? And the only reason we're asking, I'm sure that to get you all in.
There's a few more.
Mr. Mayor, isn't there a provision if it's all the same continued opinion over and over again? Can't we move that along and ask for other information? Since we're not like that, each person gets 3 minutes. I'm sorry, your items didn't fit in there. Mr. President, I have a question. Is everybody that's here opposed to this Greenstep Cities? Do we have anybody that wants to speak on behalf of it? Well, we're going to have in a little bit someone who will give us some information about it. So, well, I'm just saying, if we have opposing sides, we should give them a note. Somebody opposed to it, somebody that's in favor of it, so they each get time to speak. But I don't see anybody on the other side. Why don't you go ahead? All right, we're going to go through some of our other items, and then we'll come back and just have a lot of discussion.
I don't know if I'm allowed to speak. I didn't intend it. I came over from Sartell, Minnesota.
So, your name and address, please.
My name is Peter Joseph Wilson. I live at 1108 Celebration Drive, Sartell, Minnesota, 56377. I didn't intend to speak, but as we listen to all this here tonight, those of you that, I look at when people have bad ideas or poor ideas, one is they're unfamiliar, or uninformed, ill-informed. Second is they have bad ideas, ill intent, bad intent. The third is they're insidious. I don't know what any of you are, and I'm not going to make that statement. But you need to look into more of this Greensteps in depth, because this is going on at all city councils, and the reason is there's someone pushing the agenda. I was retired from John Deere Company and Century Insurance. I insured dealerships. I've done a lot of things preceding that in my life. Dealt with many of the businesses in this area, past and present. And in that, I was down and decided to go back to work and was at some training in the Minneapolis area about 3 months ago. In it is a addendum available for insurance on commercial insurance. And basically it is a discretionary purchase, like some aspects of business insurance, where the individual buying it makes a decision if they want the discretion of implementing the Green Steps type agenda. This is like a disease infiltrated the nation. And you need to stand up, because when you vote, if you vote this in, you'll play hell getting it out. End of story, nothing more to talk about. I'm going to quote this from this little handout, this little Slim Jim. What is considered unsustainable? Private property, single family homes, paved roads, ski runs, golf courses, I don't know, logging activities, harvesting of timber, air conditioning, all these things. So this is a major revision of society. Everything starts small. And I'm recommending you do not set yourself into motion, because I've seen these Green Step meetings. Go to some. I have. It will enlighten you. Do not sign on to this agenda. You will regret it, at least those of you with any kind of conscience. Thank you.
No discussion? Anybody have any questions on any concern? Yeah, I have a couple of things on the bills. One on page 7 of 75, it's under the general operating budget for cable TV. Let me get down to my page. It's for a total of $10,802.82. Great River Arts Association, Channel 180, Independent School District 482, Channel 181. Are these costs for equipment? Is this
No,
cost
this
for
is,
rental?
it's the monthly fee that we pay Great River Arts and the school district to operate those public access channels.
So we collect a franchise fee from Charter for operating within the right of way, and then and with that franchise agreement, we have access to 2 public access channels, one for government purposes and one for educational purposes, and then we contract with those 2 agencies to operate those channels for us.
So we recover that cost through
The
Through the
franchise.
franchise and type fees.
Then I have one other one on the next page, page 8. And it's under general operating equipment, CDW government, arbitrator new squad. What do we need an arbitrator new squad?
It's a piece of equipment for the squad car. It's called an arbitrator. I believe it has to do with the sirens, correct? Cameras, okay. Yeah.
So it's not an individual
No,
arbitrating
no,
someone.
no.
Yeah, it's the name of the software program that runs the dash cams.
All right, thank you. Any other questions?
I have a question. On page 8 of 75, in general operating, there's some new permanent improvements. There was a total of $15,000 for an easement on 138. Is that what we just approved?
Yes, that was the resolutions that were approved at the last meeting for the right-of-way on the road that would extend east past the airport, or west, east of the airport.
Any other questions? Items on the consent agenda. Council informational items. Mr. Greenstep Cities program presentation, Melissa.
Greg, I think the projector turned on.
opportunity to speak with you tonight. My name is Melissa Birch, and I am with the Clean Energy Resource Teams, which is a partnership that connects individuals and communities with resources so they can do clean energy. We also work extensively with the Greenstep Cities program, which is what I'm here to talk about tonight. As soon as I have the power up here.
Yeah, better unplug it, plug it back from the wall.
Minnesota Greenstep Cities is a Minnesota-based program that is free and voluntary to cities around the state. It is based on 29 best practices, which cities can implement using 170 different actions. All of those actions are voluntary, all of the program is voluntary. This program is designed to be flexible so that different cities are able to implement it in different ways. So we have 120 cities around the state that are Greenstep Cities, and the smallest one is the city of Hewitt with 266 people, and the largest is St. Paul. So the program is designed to be flexible to work for cities and to meet the different needs and aspirations of cities. It is cost effective. Not only is it free, but cities often reduce their energy costs and other costs associated with wasted materials or wasted water. So often end up saving money through the program. And it's very practical. It provides technical assistance and promotes innovation within communities. So there are 120 cities around the state, or a few more than 120 cities. They're small, they're large, they're rural, they're urban, they're conservative, they're liberal. It's a program that's designed to fit with what the needs and aspirations of the cities are. Now this program was developed out of regional listening sessions around Greater Minnesota. It has its origins in 2007 when there were regional listening sessions, and the legislature, it got traction in the legislature. And so in 2010 is when the Greenstep Cities program was launched at the League of Minnesota Cities Conference in June. It started out with 3 steps, 3 recognition steps, and later on, the cities who had achieved step 3 wanted to do more. And so they requested that more steps be added. So in 2016 and 2017, step 4 and step 5 were added. And we already have a few step 5 cities who are plugging away and doing great. We do have quite a few partners in the Greenstep program. These are organizations that assist with the program in various ways. Some of them are state agencies. We also have CERTs, Clean Energy Resource Teams. The League of Minnesota Cities is an important partner, and a number of nonprofits who participate in the program. There are a lot of benefits to being a Greenstep City. Saving money is a big one for a lot of cities, and also just that it's a one-stop shop. It's a way for cities to connect to resources, informational, technical resources, having to do with a wide variety of sustainability and quality of life indicators. So it provides leadership roles for the community, and it provides peer and public recognition as well. And that can take a variety of forms, including you can put up road signs so that people coming into the city know that you're a Greenstep City. You can put it on your website. As you advance in the program, you are recognized at the League of Minnesota Cities Conference as you go up steps. So it is based around 29 best practices and 170 different actions, and that's really where a lot of the flexibility comes in, because cities get to choose. This is something I'd
like to do, well, this one maybe not. This doesn't really fit my city very well. And actions are rated at 1, 2, and 3 stars. So 1 star means when you've done it, you've done it. 2 stars means you did it really well. And 3 stars really means you're awesome at this best practice action. So as you are in the program, you go through the recognition levels as you achieve different things. So step 1 is having the council approve a resolution saying we'd like to be a Greenstep City. Step 2 is completing, in your case, 8 best practices, any 8. A lot of times cities have already done things that fulfill best practices. For instance, if you have a comp plan, that's a best practice action. And you can count that even if you did it before you started the program. So we don't like to penalize cities by, who have been doing things already. So you get credit for, anything you've done before as well. Step 3, you complete another 8 best practices, including a few high priority ones. Steps 4 and 5 are reporting on metrics, things like how efficient are your buildings, your city buildings, your city hall, your fire department building, your fire hall, other city buildings like that. Those are the kinds of metrics that they're talking about. So for step 4, you're reporting on those metrics, and step 5, you're showing improvement. So step 1 is approving the resolution, and that resolution is flexible. We have a sample on the website, but cities often adapt it to meet their particular needs and aspirations. And then steps 2 and 3 are built around best practices. And the best practices fall into 5 different categories: buildings and lighting, land use, transportation, environmental management, which is kind of a grab bag of different things, and my favorite, because I'm a recovering economist, economic and community development. A lot of what's done on Greenstep Cities is done through the website. So the website is where you would go if you wanted to contact someone, although you can always call me as well. You would go to the website to report when you've done an action, and that reporting is really basic. It doesn't take a lot of time. We're not talking pages and pages of reporting. It's a couple of paragraphs of, hey, this is what we did, and this is how we did it, and this was the result. So 2 to 3 paragraphs, and that's really all you need for reporting on an action. You also get access to the implementation tools to help you out, and Greenstep advisors. So if you have a question on a particular best practice, every single best practice has an advisor who's there to answer your question and provide technical assistance on that particular action. Also on the website, guidance in terms of this is what it means if you want to implement it at a 1-star level or a 2-star level or a 3-star level.
Okay.
And also information about all the other cities who have implemented the actions and how they implemented it and who you can contact at the city in order to find out more. So it's a great peer learning tool, and that's something that city staff tend to use a lot, that peer learning. So steps 4 and 5 are these metrics, because if you don't measure, you don't really know if you're improving or not. So step 4 is that you provide information. Now a lot of this information is stuff that you already collect just because you're a city, and some of it is information that comes out of the best practices that you're doing. And then so step 5, it show improvement on the metrics. We know that city staff time is at a premium for a lot of cities, and so there are a lot of resources that are available two cities to assist with it. One is Minnesota Green Corps, which places an AmeriCorps member with the city for 11 months full-time to work on sustainability and quality of life issues and assist city staff with that. Other cities use community volunteers quite a bit, or interns. One of the nice things about being in the region that we're in is that Sourcewell will happily fund interns to work on Greenstep work.
I thought that's what
And that's something that I can assist with. Also, some cities have made use of high school classes or student groups. Warrenton is one example that's used a lot of student groups to assist with their Greenstep. So we survey cities, Greenstep cities every year, and we ask, one of the things that we ask is, what do you value about the program? And these are really the top three: cost savings, peer recognition, and the sustainability framework that makes it really easy for cities to go in and say, I'd like to work on this. Who can I talk to? I can go to Greenstep and find out. So with that, I'd like to take any questions you may have.
I guess I have a question.
Yeah.
You heard some of the folks that were speaking before. Does your program have anything to do with the Agenda 21 thing from the UN?
No, it does not.
Wrong answer. Why do you have to lie?
And if you had the opportunity, please.
I have a respectful question. Are you employed full-time in this role?
I am half-time with Clean Energy Resource Teams, and so we do some Greenstep work and some other sustainability clean energy work.
And ultimately, who is that? State or what?
So CERTS is
Who signs your paycheck?
the University of Minnesota Extension.
Okay.
So CERTS is a partnership of Extension, the Department of Commerce, the Great Plains Institute, and the Southwest Regional Development Commission. So it's a weird kind of little animal.
Thank you.
Sure.
Mr. President, I looked at the list of cities that are members, and we meet frequently in Morrison County. Mayor is not part of those meetings. I see Royalton's been a member since 2010. Pierce's been a member since 2014. We've discussed green cities. I have not heard anything bad about it. I have not heard about Agenda 21 unless you Google green communities and some other things. So I'm just surprised that if all these bad things are happening and these mandatory things, I've not seen anything. Could you talk to us about the mandatories required? Because I really, as I read through it, I don't see mandatory things that we have to do. Can we drop out at any time we want?
Yes, there are no mandatory anything. If you want to advance, you can do certain things. If you are happy just working where you are, that's fine too. If you want to withdraw, you can withdraw. It is entirely a voluntary program providing technical assistance and connecting cities to resources to do things that fit within what the city itself wants to do.
Okay, Mr. President, I have one more comment. I was at Brranstner School doing a scholarship presentation, and the kids came out and did a presentation on recycling, which was part of the Greenstep Cities initiative, I believe, and they were all excited about it, and it was some recycling program that Brranstner had started, and kids were doing it in school, so. Okay, that's all I have.
I have one question. Is this program where you want to get to 100% renewable energy by 2050? Is that part of this program?
That is not part of this program.
Because that just doesn't seem realistic.
Does it not piggyback on that somewhat? Right? This is going back.
Good, I'm fine,
Might
thanks.
have to flip that.
I was just impressed
The actual resolution references 2007 law, which that was Governor Maloney's program, which in turn led to a lawsuit by North Dakota because it prohibited power purchase from coal-fired plants.
Well, there are two things. One is the renewable, there is a renewable best practice, but it's voluntary.
I'm looking at
The resolution
kind of linked to one another, do they not? Not the latest 100% by 2050, but when we get to the resolution.
there is, you can include that in your resolution if you want to, but you don't have to.
Yes, I actually got that whole resolution verbatim. Yeah. Digital version takes me a while. I think it references the 2007 law in there, which had energy, renewable energy goals.
Yeah, there are statewide renewable energy goals that were part of the Next Generation Energy Act, but that's separate. It also says in that same paragraph, establishing an energy policy goal of 25% of the electricity used in the state be derived from renewable energy sources by the year 2025. That's only 6 years away. How is it even possible to do that? We have already achieved that. We have already achieved 25%. Well, that's because Little Falls has a hydroelectric dam. We're already pretty green here.
Are they counting hydroelectric? I know in some goals they don't even count hydroelectric.
They do count hydro, and there's been a ton of wind development. But yeah, we have already in Minnesota achieved 25% renewable energy for electricity.
Well, the new national law coming today regarding governors 100% by 2050, and it alluded to the fact that Pawlenty had set a goal of, I believe it was 20% by 2025, and it said we've already surpassed it, so we're going to have 25.
So are we already 80% below what we were in 2005? That's part of the resolution.
Sure. Let me grab the form and
I'm not sure.
So it says, chapter 136, 1 sets state greenhouse gas emissions reductions to cutting emissions to 15% below 2005 levels by 2015, 30% below 2005 levels by 2025, and 80% below 2005 levels by 2060. How do you measure that? How do you measure that?
That's a technical question related to how much fuel is burned, usually, is how it's usually measured and not converted. But that's, all of those whereases that are in that sample resolution are voluntary. So you can say, this one really fits Little Falls, this one doesn't really fit Little Falls, and choose. They're just examples of ones that some of the other cities have used. But which ones, if you choose to do it, which ones you choose are really up to you, the council.
Well, and there are also goals, so we don't even do
There's no penalty.
take away from our name, our
No, there's no penalty. This is just it's a technical assistance program.
Are grants involved?
yeah, so that. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
What did? Very good. Parking request? Domino's.
Received a request for alternate parking on 2nd Street Southeast in front of Domino's. It's on the work session for us, the regular agenda to receive this evening.
Thank you.
0
majority of them are in favor of this project so that we can tie it into the bonding and keep the cost down. And was that one person that was not in favor because of being on a fixed income. I'm sure this is going to be bonded over a period of time. What, 10 years, 15 years? Their concern was they pay enough in taxes already, and on a fixed income is, they're concerned of being able to stay in their home and so forth and so on. So I have some other questions that I'll be, when we come up to this part, that I'll be asking. So, yeah. Trunk Highway 27 adjacent areas.
We received bids for the Trunk Highway 27 project around the 22nd. Midnight is in the process of tallying all the bids. The parent bidder is Lundberg, so it's a local contractor that was doing the work. It did come in over what the engineer's estimate came in at, but for our part, it wasn't too much money. It was like $45,000 more than what we had. So not too terribly off. Once we get that, we'll bring it to the council for concurrence with the on the year contract work.
Thank you.
Yep.
So you would join in our review of the 7:30.
That agenda, you just set a time when you want to
March 4th, 2019 to order. Let's call to the pledge standings and the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All individuals are asked to either silence or turn off all cell phones, pagers, and other electronic devices. Approval of the agenda. The agenda is posted in accordance with the open meeting law and here to place all agenda items on the table for discussion.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second?
I would like to make one amendment, if it would be okay with you two, to the agenda. Well, actually, we need two. One is I would like to move under new business item C to amend the date so that we have time to not just go with opinion, but go with some facts and do some research on the Greenstep Cities program before we vote on it. And we also need to add, and I don't know which section that would be best, John, if we do it under item 7 or if we do it at the end of item 9 for the rest of the people who would like to speak.
I would recommend after item 9, so that would just adding our public forum from our work session. We'll reread the statement and do the public forum right after the new business before the council reports, announcements.
Okay. Check, is that agreeable? Is that a motion? Well, you already made a motion, so it's okay.
You want to amend your
So what are you looking for? Adding public comment to C, but you're looking...
No.
Will be removed to a later meeting so that we have time.
Okay, I will rescind my motion, but I decline to remove.
There is one section in here that I believe we have to amend to, where it's page 13 of 75. It's on, not to our minutes from the last meeting. That's what the agenda, I'm sorry. If we send it, George, then I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the removal of item C to our next meeting, and to replace item C with the continuation of our public hearing.
Public forum. Sorry, public forum.
Public forum, sorry, public forum. Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Approval of the minutes, special work session meeting of February 19, 2019, and the regular meeting of February 19, 2019 approved. It's the wish of the council. I'll make a motion.
second?
A motion by Councilmember Lundberg, second by Councilmember Lundberg. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Approval of the bills. Checks 100152 through 100219, totaling $272,785.35 approved. Motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Storey, second by Councilmember Hanson. Discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Awards, donations, presentations, and proclamations. We have consent agenda, application for exempt permit, Minnesota Rodeo Association raffle approved. Cleanup, recycling grants, Morrison County accepted and approved. Community Services Advisory Board minutes, December 2018 received. Final report, January 2019 received. Morrison County Attorney's Prosecution Report, December 2018 received. Police report, January 2019. Recycling reports, December 2018 and year-end 2018 received. Temporary on-sale liquor license.
No, I did not.
Price of liquor elements approved. Mr. President, I want to make a motion to amend page 13 for cleanup and recycling grants. There's a reference in there to the year 2016. I believe it should be 2019.
got it, I changed it. It's in the memo.
It says Morrison County has granted to the city $7,604 for 2016 cleanup day. I believe that should be 2019. This is the wish of the council. Motion to approve. Second.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Storey, second by Councilmember Lundberg. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Public hearings and letters. Public hearing resolution 2019-19, Alley Block 2, road conditions. Greg.
Yes, so on the northwest part of town, between 3rd and 4th Streets, just on the north side of 6th Avenue, there's a small stretch in the Rose Addition of Block 2 where the alley was not vacated. Rose Addition has a number of areas where the streets, the avenues, and some of the alleys were vacated throughout that portion. And this little segment, for whatever reason, was forgotten back in the day when they vacated it. So we're looking at cleaning up that stretch of it. The HRA currently owns the property on the east and the west side of that. And then we recall recently we also vacated the alley south of that, probably about a month or so ago as well. So this is looking at cleaning up that section of it. You can see it on page 37 of your packet. But we are looking at vacating that this evening. It is a public hearing, so we do have public comment. Just open it up for public comment.
Anyone wish to speak on the vacation of the alley in Block 2?
Council President, should we announce the time that the council, the public?
I figured it would be back by 1 a.m.
I didn't see her.
Oh, wait, it's 7:41.
Thank you.
They'll be back tomorrow too, though, won't they?
Speak about
Yes,
that.
I really don't know. They don't check in with me.
Oh, okay.
So they just kind of come and go on their own.
Anyone
Okay.
wish to speak? Then we will close the hearing. 7:41.
That's just on that one particular
It's
topic.
on the vacation of unused alley. I'm not sure if we vote on it this time, or was this just a hearing for it?
Once the public hearing is closed, and then move to the resolution.
Motion to adopt. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Storey, second by Councilmember Hanson. On the resolution 2019-19, vacate alley, Block 2, roads addition. Discussion.
Isn't this adjacent to the land we just sold at a price I thought was too cheap?
Yes.
I guess in the future, I'd like to see us consider vacating alleys and look at it as a land sale. If I could go back in time, I would make that suggestion for the hospital expansion too, rather than just vacating an alley and saying, there you go, it's all yours now, do what you want.
Resolution, call roll, please.
Wildgren,
Yes.
Lundberg,
Yes.
Zilka,
Yes.
Kirkhoff,
Yes.
Storley,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
carries.
Old business, restrict parking, 4th Street Northeast. Greg.
Yeah, so at the council direction, we sent out letters to the adjacent property owners along 4th Street Northeast. As you recall, we got a petition for 4 one-hour parking stalls along the 100 block. We did receive 2 responses, both of them basically indicating they were okay with the 4-hour parking in front of the parcel that requested the 1-hour parking. And then after discussions with them in terms of why we had 3 different options on the letter in terms of what their responses would be, we had installed 4 1-hour parking stalls in front of that property, create 1-hour parking along the entire west side of the 4th Street Northeast, and then create 3-hour parking along the west side of the 100 block of 4th Street Northeast. Both of the individuals that responded indicated that their second choice would be 3-hour parking along the west side of 4th Street Northeast in that 100 block. Basically because when it comes down to enforcement, it's very similar to what we got downtown, and as far as the parking restrictions, that's 3-hour parking in most of the locations as well. And so our recommendation tonight would be to post that has 3-hour parking as well, so that when the officers are going around looking at parking restrictions in the area, it's consistent with the downtown. They don't have to spot areas that are 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour. It's fairly consistent throughout the area for them to enforce that.
What's the wish of the council?
Mr. President, are we taking action on this tonight, or are we just considering?
You can take action. You can take action tonight, or you can postpone it if you want to. It's up to the council's discretion. So we've got the feedback from the adjoining property owners, and now it's the council to decide what they would like to do.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to table this, because I was looking through our city codes, and according to code 9.04B, we have no 3-hour option for parking in the city of Little Falls. We got 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 15 minute, we got 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, no 3 hours. So I don't want us to be voting on something where we're violating our own codes.
Well, if you go by the signage downtown, we're going to have to do something regardless, if that's the case.
We're going to make sure we may have to change our code then in order to open up 3-hour parking. We also need to go to a specific date.
Yes.
Actually, like the table it is till later in the meeting. For another
I'll amend my motion to postpone until the first meeting in April. Does that give us enough time to look at that city code and maybe take a look if we enlarge it? I would accept that. So my motion is to postpone a vote on this until our next city council meeting, March 18th.
I'll second that.
Little Falls, right?
That's what you need to vote on. Favor signify by saying aye. Aye. New business. Airport Commission recommendations for task order 5 Community Development Agreement, ALJ Engineering.
I did include a exhibit in the council's packet. I'm trying to pull it up here quick. So the airport is looking at doing an addition onto the hangars out at the airport. I think we've got 2 currently open, and we've got a number of folks that are looking to build private hangars out there. Essentially, if you look at the screen behind you here, this one is currently in place, and there's a couple potential new ones looking at going out there. So we're looking at a taxiway extension into here, and then also upgrading the pavement around this particular hangar. We can own these 3 hangars and then lease them out to folks that have airplanes out at the airport. In order for us to get funding for the second one here, where we're looking at doing the taxiway, we have to improve the apron around this one right here. That's just the FAA requirements in terms of the pavement on the air side versus the non-air side for the airport. We do have a proposal from KLJ. KLJ is our airport engineer. It's in the amount of $60,332.54. Roughly the split for funding on that is 90% feds, 5% state, 5% local, which is the city and county. When I say roughly, it's because when you look at this one right in here, you'll see that crosshatched area. That's the crosshatched area that the feds will not participate in. They'll participate in the pavement out here, which is farther away from that here, but they don't participate in the business stuff right next to them here. And so that's where it's kind of difficult to get exactly at that split. So we calculate the quantities and then we figure out the split from there. But we
motion to accept the Airport Commission recommendation, Task Order 5 for the hangar development agreement with KLJ Engineering. Motion made by Councilmember Story, second by Councilmember Lundberg. Discussion? Oh, sorry. Second by Councilmember Lundberg. I'll give you my notes from up above. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Petition, 30-minute parking downhill received. Great.
Yes, this evening we're asking the council to receive a petition for 30-minute parking from Downtown Pizza.
Mr. President, I make a motion to accept the petition from Domino's Pizza for 30-minute parking.
I'll second that. Motion by Councilmember Lundberg, second by Mayor Zilka. Discussion? Was that right on the down?
That's my understanding, yes.
They already do have a 30-minute parking there. Are they looking for another one?
I believe that's the bakery.
No, there's one down those. Greg and I had a discussion on that request.
Yeah. So if it's all right with the council, what I would do once we accept or receive this petition here, we'd send a letter out to the adjoining property owners, much like we did on 4th Street, to get their feedback. And I'd bring that back to the council at the following council meeting so that you know what the results are.
Parking. Do we still have all the old meters in storage?
I don't think so.
Eventually costs the city money.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Now we have to item C. Back to our so we'll be back to the, if anyone else has a comment, this will be the time we'll be back, where you can come to the podium, get your name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
Hi, Lynn Whitella, 33221 West Road, Piers. Regarding the Green Steps program that you are considering, she made it sound, Melissa made it sound like everything is optional. So the question is then, if it's part of the resolution, is it still optional? So you may want to check into that as well. So if it's part of your resolution, then you have to follow then what is required. Then I don't believe it any longer becomes optional. But out of the 29 steps, each step has so many, and then you can pick from the hundreds of other steps, 154, whatever they are, to implement. Carbon emissions were mentioned. How do you measure it? Good question. This is carbon dioxide. Plants need carbon dioxide, so that's not even a real issue. Partners, MPCA, SBA, I have had the pleasure of dealing with those the last year and a half, and $24,000 later, I was able to sell my property. So not exactly great partners to partner with. I do believe grants are part of this Greenstep City. They dangle the carrot, here's a grant, you get to do this, improve your city, it looks great, green steps, it all looks pretty. These are things you can do without them. The grants there are always hidden costs. Crystal had this really big road construction project, I believe it was the city of Crystal. I can clarify that later for you. And they got a grant for it, totally researched it, didn't find any strings attached to it. As soon as the project was completed, guess what? You have to do a pedestrian overpass over this great new construction you just paid for. I got this grant for. No grants for this second project, so keep that in mind, please, when you do grants and think about them. This is all following UN agenda, even if they're not quote-unquote hand-in-hand with a UN group, which Italy and stuff, those are all UN groups. So it is UN control. So keep your control local. Some of the things that I just looked up one thing, landscaping. If you want to follow their thing on landscaping, you could do native plants. 75% of the property would have to be native plants. Here's a list of native plants for Minnesota. There is probably 1 or 2 per page. It's really not that many, you need somebody then to regulate it. There's a cost on you. You know, are these grants, and are they going to help you regulate that? Who's going to go out and say, you can't plant that rose there because that's not native? How many apple trees were native to Minnesota? Think of, you know, our pioneers that came over and things.
Hello, my name's Greg Smith. I'm from Little Falls Township. Do you need a street address out there? Yes, please. 13601 123rd Street. I want to address a couple of things that the lady said within the presentation on Greensteps. If you look on the website of the Greensteps Minnesota website, she talked about voluntary. Well, if you look very closely at the 29 steps, there are actually 3 full pages of mandatory. It says it right on their website, not making this up. It's actually 34 pages. Within the 34 pages, it comes up to a total of 3 pages of mandatory. If you look at the ones that are mandatory, they're so incredibly restrictive and expensive. You've never paid for them. No possibility of ever discovering that stuff. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice here a little bit. You gotta check that website. I want to say another thing about those 29 steps. Guess where they got the 29 steps? From a little thing called the Green Communities Criteria. Now, every one of these groups, the Met Council, Region 5, Thriving Communities, League of Cities, who is behind this green step, every one of them uses this as their Bible. You gotta read it. It's online. You can get it. It's 49 pages. Green Communities Criteria. Once you have read that, if you can still consider ever working with any of these groups again in any fashion, it should shatter your conscience. I'll give you 2 quick examples. One, any house you build must be within a quarter mile of a bus stop. I'm not making this stuff up. Read it yourself. Another one. Every house, every existing home and building must be upgraded to the standards that they use for new construction in the Twin Cities. Now, I went around and talked to a bunch of contractors in the cities here, and the costs, nobody can believe the costs. I mean, you never raised the kind of costs that it would take to do this. Now, let's assume that those are all voluntary. Let's assume that 99% of that stuff is voluntary. Why would you ever consider working with any of these organizations, including Region 5, that have these goals, these completely un-American goals in your city, in your country? Please read these things for yourself. These are no joke. This is no big conspiracy. It's in there.
Well, take it back. What? I don't think you want this.
The Kyoto agreements and the Paris Accords, climate accords, we will bring them into every Minnesota community using the Greenstep program and the League of Cities. Walls just said that recently publicly. This is what you're seeing. Please turn away from all this stuff. Thank you very much. Great.
My name is Pat Quality, KBALC, is that right? 18795 Riverwood Drive. Thank you for hearing our concerns on this. Just touched on the mandatory things that this green, what are they calling themselves? Greenstep Cities are going to require of you. I just want to read just a little ditty from their Green Communities criteria, which is they're calling it for mandatory, what you need to do to be eligible for grants and tax credit equity. I'm sure that's what we're all seeking, to secure for our community. A project must comply with all of the mandatory provisions of the Green Communities criteria. In addition, the construction, and we were talking about points. Construction must earn 25 points from the optional criteria, while modern retail projects must earn 20 points from the optional criteria. Only they know what all of this means. This is all I don't know.
You can have your credit.
Gibberish, yes. The
You
Green
take
Communities
care.
Grant
Good to
Committee
see you.
made compliance with specific criteria that the grant application can demonstrate that the criterion creates a hardship or is inadvisable for a specific project, and that the alternative means meet the intent of the criteria. Projects should include at least 15 single-family homes occupied by households with incomes at or below 80% of area median income, or at least 25 rental apartments occupied by households, or at or below 60% of area median income. Now, these are mandatory if you decide to take on these kinds of grant monies and are looking for those tax equity breaks from this project, from this Greenstep Cities presentation that Melissa Gale gave. And by the way, I don't know that, did she say where she was from? I mean, is she from this community? Does she understand what Little Falls, what we would require in this neighborhood? I don't even know if she's from this area. Did anybody get that? Anyway, I just want to ask the council to really consider if they are going to look into this further, to look into this project, that we ask as the public that you would publicize this with intentions by a prominent ad so that the public is made aware of it in newspapers and the radio and in public forums so that people can be enlightened about what's going on with this program, to ascertain citizen input before every vote if you decide to move to your time. Okay, thank you for your time.
Folks. I just got some casual observations to mention.
Name and address, please.
Oh, sorry. Shawn, 19067 Twin Lakes Road, Little Falls, 56345-4119. Black Shady pickup. Anyway, I was in the city here a few days ago. Went down 24 there, south of St. Cloud. There's a clear lake to clear water. There's a huge solar farm on the east side of the road, about halfway there. Well, I got a real chuckle out of that because it was cloudy. It was covered with about 6 inches of snow, every one of them. I don't think that lives enough power to run the night light. Okay, maybe someday this stuff might all work out. So we got 100 years, as far as I know, coal, oil, gas, hydroelectric power. We don't need to solve this week, or this month, or this year. The government just get out of it. They're telling me that the price is going to go down on the electricity. Yeah, as long as the government is subsidizing it. When they quit subsidizing it, we're going to be in for quite a shock. This young lady that was here today, nice lady, but she was very well indoctrinated by the place she works for. Very
things on the Greenstep pages. You're expected to take those rules and regulations and make them law, at least 1 to 2 a year. For the duration. How many laws can we create if we're not in the House or the Senate of Minnesota? You know what I mean? That's one of the things I wanted to talk about. Another thing that was quite interesting was that the United Nations mandate for green cities states that we should get down to less than 100 liters of water per day per person. You know how many gallons that is? 26.4 gallons per day to cook, to wash the dishes, to take a bath, water your garden, do the laundry, flush the toilet. 26 gallons a day for one person. That isn't much. You got a household of 4, that's what, 112 gallons? It's not very much. I don't know if you caught it, it's the last thing I want to talk about. About 3 pages in on her report, there were 2 lines down here. One was almost cut off at the bottom of the screen. The second to the last line said, performance metrics. The line just underneath that said performance mandates. And one of you guys asked if there were any things that we absolutely have to do, any rules that we have to live by. She said, no. I don't. It's just something that struck me. Anyway, thank you for your time.
Good evening, council members. My name is John Albert, ULRICK. I live at 27844 73rd Street in Hillman, Minnesota, 56338. In the past 3 years, I have done an extensive study in college of criminal justice and political science. I'm in the process of studying law right now. And I've also been involved in the political process in our state for the past couple of years. I've done an extensive study last year on the Met Council. This Greenstep program, when I went and I read more than 35 pages of documents and went on a couple of different websites over the weekend and kind of scanned through the stuff, and the 3 pages of mandatory items that were on there come directly from the Met Council. If you're not aware of what the Met Council is, it is a council that is appointed by the governor, non-elected officials that have taxing authority, which try to take and implement programs within the townships, small towns, and cities. And Sherman County's having a lot of problems with them right now. I'm involved down in Sherman County and Wright County. There's a couple of cities in Wright County that don't want this program, and I think it would be real wise to take a look at that stuff. There's one question I'd like to leave with you. Why would you want to give your legislative authorities to another organization? When they put mandates on you and require you to do things and take your governing body away from you in your organization here. My firm belief is government should be like people. At the lowest possible level we can have it. We can take care of things at township, take things at city, at county commissioners, those types of things before they have to go to the state. And that's what I would like you to take a look at. Don't people where the farm, look and see what the restrictions are. There's nothing in this rule is free. There's always strings to pass. So if you go back and you look at those things and remember that those ordinances that they write aren't necessarily law, but they will try to make you believe they are law. So we'll see what's going to happen with the buffer zones and Clean Water Act that President Trump has extended in this past year, and what's going to go on within our county over the next year. But that's also part of the Met Council. You go down to Sherman County, their cost of getting building permits, sewer permits, water usage things has gone up unbelievable amounts. I went into our county here and was looking at getting a permit for a piece of property I have, and it was like $600 by the time I got done. When I moved up here in Morrison County in 1977, I went to my town clerk, got a building permit for $10 to build a machine shed. That's a thing of the past. But what's going to happen is we bring all these other identities in to control our environment. We're going to find it in the long run. Thank you very much for your time.
how much more harm is that going to happen in the future?
Anyone else wish to speak? That portion. City council reports. Voting, board, bureaus, commissions, committees, Mr. President. I got a couple things under new business here. First off, I'd like to thank the council for sending me to the League of Minnesota Cities to their
Newly elected officials.
newly elected officers meeting that they had last week. It was very interesting and quite knowledgeable. So I want to thank the council for all the meetings and for that. And one other thing, last meeting we were talking about snowplows, and Greg, I don't know, have you checked into, I've seen some snowplows that have these little wings on the end of their plows, so when they come to an intersection, they put that wing down, it doesn't push all that snow up to the intersection, and then lifts it up. Have we ever looked into putting, modernizing our equipment with that stuff?
I looked into that a little bit. The challenge is, when you get to those intersections, that's where the blade sort of empties itself because you got a snow bank on the end here, the blade's trying to push against that bank. And so when it gets to the intersection, that's where a lot of it dumps out. We pick that up when we do the avenue portion of it, and that's where it gets carried further down the street into the bank. And so we looked at that. It really hasn't been something that was too cost effective to install those on our equipment because we got motor graders plus we got about 5 plow trucks that we use in order to plow the streets. And so looking at that, it really wasn't too cost effective, but we have researched that a little bit.
I hope we can look into it a little more, because I think if we keep getting snow like we have, especially coming up in March, and it gets to be that wet, heavy snow, and you start piling 18-inch, 20-inch stuff in those intersections, that could become quite a safety issue with smaller vehicles and so on. Anyone else? Under the announcements, as you notice, there's a planning commission public hearing on the zoning of Oakland Cemetery on March 11th. John? We will adjourn at 8:14.